Okay. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I am Sarah Guillermo from Ignite, serving as our Chief Program Officer. And I would have never told you in a long time that Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Time would ever be a good time to host a webinar. But we are clearly in a brand new space in our country, our world, in navigating all of these new pieces. So we are here to share and get some feedback about where we are directing our efforts to our virtual programming that is launching today. And so welcome. I'm just going to do a couple housekeeping pieces, and then we'll do some introductions, and then we'll dive in and share what we've got going on, and then we can give some feedback of how things are going to happen. So you all see the slide deck, I think. There's a little chat pod down on your screen, and please use it to put your questions in, talk amongst each other in that. You can, I think, private chat each other. I can't remember. Thank you, Micaiah, for testing that out for us. And so we will just do that'll be that. We're recording this. And so for folks that can't get on, they'll be able to see this as well. And so let's all introduce ourselves. So if you could introduce yourself in the chat box and say your name or sorry, you can still say it out loud. Tell us your name, the city and state where you're living, and how's it going in your community. And I'll just give you for folks that are not based here in the Bay Area where I am, we have been in shelter in place in my particular county since Monday, but I've been mostly sheltering in place for quite some time now. And so what that means for us, for folks that are not there in their communities, is that only folks that have essential jobs to go out, folks that are picking up our trash, mail, grocery, doctors are the ones that are out there in the particular community that are continuing to go out. And lots of folks have really transitioned to work from home. We can feel it on the internet channels, certainly. And I can also super feel it from the space outside, where it is totally okay to go for a walk. And I am out there every morning at 8 a.m. And each day it's definitely a little bit different with how many people are out there. And I see folks from all over the world that are definitely there's Jocelyn is my doppelganger, but there are a number of folks that I know are all over the country that are here this afternoon or evening that are experiencing really different things. And yes, Ava, toilet paper is a hot commodity right now all across the country. And so keep on introducing yourselves here. And please, like I said, use the chat box to continue to talk to each other. We have folks from Philly, it looks like Las Vegas Saha's in the house. She's our fellow in Nevada. Lots of folks from our team nationally are on. Houston, Baltimore, hello Tierra. Lisette is in the Bay Area. Kirsten's in Seattle. Dominique's in Houston. Lots of folks coming in from Texas. Lauren's our Atlanta fellow, but in Chicago. And Kira's in St. Louis. Awesome. Perfect. So, like I said, thank you. And thank you, Mary. North Carolina is in the house. Jasmine's in from Memphis, Tennessee, Huntsville, Texas, a little bit everywhere. Brayi is from Minnesota. She is my fellow from the Midwest. I know Alicia's typing. She's in New York and our New York fellow. So please keep chatting with each other there. I am going to keep going so that we can get lots of feedback from you on what you think we should be doing in the next couple weeks. And then a couple other things you can see there's a little green thing that says fill me out, complete the 1920 enrollment form. If you haven't completed it yet, we want to make sure, just like the census, we want to count every single person in our Ignite community. So please feel free to please go ahead and complete that while we are going on this afternoon or evening. Okay, so I just wanted to set the tone. So as many of you probably received my email on Monday, we have transitioned all of our in-person programming from our college councils, all of our college chapter meetings that are happening on the ground on any given day, our high school programming, and to my deepest sadness, all of our conferences, including our national conference in Washington, D.C., we have transitioned to canceling or postponing those events and going virtual. And so IRL is obviously in real life, and as an extrovert, this is really challenging for me, as I'm sure it is very much challenging for many of you. We at Ignite have been tracking the coronavirus nationally. I spent lots of time in the past couple of weeks with Department of Health locally and on a task force with the CDC for folks that work with higher ed populations to truly understand what the scope is of the work that is happening. It is very much a moving and fluid situation, as you all know, and different parts of the country are at different phases in the process right now. And we had to make the very, sad decision and the unfortunate decision to be able to cancel all of our in-person programming. We do know that this is just through, and our particular cancellation is through June 30th, just with a large advancement of a number of campuses not coming back this semester or this quarter, and a lot of school campuses in the K through 12 world not coming back as well. So I just wanted everyone to kind of I know that we've all gotten the 90 emails of why other corporations are closing or why Starbucks is doing in-store pickup, but I wanted to make sure everybody here knew and understood why Ignite was taking this step and why we made these decisions and how hard it was to make some of these decisions. So Ignite Online, we are really working to play our part in the social distancing of what this country needs right now. And so we have created lots of different ideas and different platforms for us to be able to continue to engage with one another. And so I am going to share those with all of you and talk about each of them a little bit. And then we'll start. I have a little couple surveys for us to take so that we can tell us what we want to do in the next couple months. Okay, I'll just let that load. Okay, so you should see 5 different boxes right up here. What can you expect from Ignite in the next coming months? So we have 5 core buckets, and we're obviously open to building more, but these are our wheelhouse. The first bucket, I'm trying to move my face too, because it's like totally in the way. Okay, here's my face. I'm moving it back. Okay. The first thing is professional and career development. I know that many of you are seniors right now or are looking for jobs or just internships for the summer. And so we really wanted to offer up a couple different opportunities to either do some professional networking online with our lovely Ignite network. Also, we wanted to just provide some career development in terms of resume building and lots of different pieces, how to interview. And so you'll be able to vote on that in a minute, but really thinking about what can we do, and feel free. And I can't see everything in the chat box now, but as you put things in there, please feel free to add other ideas that I might not be saying already to the chat box under each of these topics so that we can add them to our big brainstorming sheet. So professional and career development, really thinking about how can we advance you, and this could look like literally online workshops, or it could literally be like sitting and talking to another human and being able to go over your entire resume with them, or just brainstorm, like, here's where you should look. I also will just say that I graduated in 2008 from my master's program, and that was the last recession that this country had. And so it is totally possible to still get a job, just to put that out there. So that's professional and career development. Please add into the comments below in the chat box if you have other ideas that are of interest for you, or that you feel like you really need right now to help you either find your next internship or find your next job. Okay. So the next one is on community building. So I know you can only see my face right now, but there are opportunities for us to use other platforms to be able to just offer community building time. So, thinking about tea time with Ignite, where we can carve out an hour and as many people that want to come and just chat and talk about the different things that are happening in your community, or, just regular check-ins, roses and thorns for all of you that have been with us for quite some time. But time to just literally connect with each other. And so that's our community building. Feel free to, if you have other ideas that come to mind for you in terms of community building, two things that just came to my mind actually is we could read, I'm reading books right now, a lot of books right now, but we could go back to my once upon idea of Ignite Book Club, or we could even stream a movie together or a documentary and discuss lots of different ideas there. So I'm just picking up on my little brainstorm here if there's other community building things that I wanted to add before I go down. Feel free to add more. Netflix watch parties, yes, Kirsten, or Hulu. I don't know if I'm allowed to give my password out anymore, but that sounds really fun. But we could totally do that. Okay, so 1, 2, third. Thank you for that, Darren. Legislative advocacy and civic engagement. Jocelyn Yao, who is on our team, we have a couple Ignite the Capitals that were canceled for this. I think one was actually supposed to happen yesterday in Illinois. But we are really thinking about how can we continue to do digital advocacy. So we have a couple advocacy days planned. Some are going to be national and some are going to be state specific. And so that's one of our digital advocacy efforts. So we would train you on a particular bill, work with, train you on how to actually do a call script and practice. And then we would actually stay online together and pick up the phone and call our legislators. So that's one particular activity. Civic engagement. We are really still trying to create some mechanisms so that we can continue to do get out the vote efforts as we get closer to a lot of these primaries. And so thinking about that as some different opportunities around civic engagement. Let's see what the other ideas were. A lot of them is around GeoTV. And then for legislative advocacy, I'm curious too if people would be interested in doing letters of support, or if you're in a state here, if your legislative branch is actually meeting this year, then we could also add other states to do digital advocacy in. Jocelyn, I don't think did I miss anything? I'm just looking at our sheet. I don't think I did. Oh, actually, one last thing that we are doing already on April 1st is April 1st is Census Day. And so we actually are going to spend some time filling out our census forms together. I'm holding on to mine so I could fill it out with all of you. And so that's another opportunity to stay connected with us to do that. I'm just reading through these notes to see if there's any other thoughts that people have been sharing. Okay. And then next up is obviously the big chunk of our work is the training. So we have some ideas in terms of Thank you, Kirsten. Some different ideas of virtual college councils and still being able to meet and connect with each other that way. Another platform, not this one, but we have a platform on Zoom in which we could do breakout rooms. So that's another opportunity to be able to do some other work via our college councils. So that's one opportunity. So folks that do participate in college councils, let us know if that's something that you're still interested in participating in as we do this virtually, or try it out with us. The other training topics that we have been thinking about are around how to get on your local board and commission, run for office trainings, everything from how to get endorsed, how to actually campaign during a time of COVID-19. We are planning on doing a campaign staffer boot camp. I think many of you may have joined us for campaign staffer campaign staffer boss lady trainings in person. If you have, we're going to also do that online in partnership with New American Leaders. So that's another piece. And then some of our friends at Facebook and LinkedIn are also happy to do some content for us, for all of you to continue to support different training mechanisms that way. Feel free to keep adding any other ideas that you'd like to put in there. And then last but not least, we have a women in politics section. And so for this section, I'm thinking like meet and greets with electeds, with different leaders in our community, and we could either have a fireside chat with that particular elected, or we could do some level of training or just conversation with them. So just like how they might potentially do a keynote at a conference, they would then share some of their wisdom with all of us via either a webinar or a Zoom platform. So before I pull out the survey, does anybody have any questions or clarifying thoughts on any of the professional development and career development, community building, legislative advocacy, women in politics, or training options that I just talked about? Lauren, we're covering what Ignite is offering online, and then we're going to start to take some surveys based on what folks want first and what folks are most interested in. Any other thoughts? I'll take a sip of water to give folks a minute. Perfect. Are there any guidelines for what college chapters should be doing during quarantine? We are working on that to give you all some more support around that. But it sounds like that's something in terms of just support for college chapters in general is a piece here that we need to be very blatant about. What is something that newer chapters can do to keep people engaged? Perfect. Digitally engaged. Yes. I think our comms team is actually on here. And so we actually have a planned content for that in early April. The survey is actually just in this platform. So the folks that are on here are going to be able to give us some feedback. And then we're going to probably put out some Facebook polls for folks to participate on Facebook, or we could also, Kirsten, I don't want to say if this is wrong, but maybe we could do something on Instagram too for some choices. So, thank you, Kirsten. So I'm going to, let's see if I can successfully do this. I set up some surveys and I'm going to put them up. Okay, let's try. Okay, so I think you all can see the survey is what I'm hoping. Can someone help me tell me? Yes, thank you. Okay, great. So you'll vote first. Are there options to vote? Let's hope I didn't screw this up. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I adore you greatly for the feedback. I just can't see anything. Oh, great. Look at this. Oh, how pretty. I didn't even know it's like so our colors. Jocelyn, you could choose. I don't know if you could choose all of them. I'm not sure. You could try. So just as you all get through them, the first one is how do we want to engage virtually? We're gonna try all these out, but we're just super curious for the folks that are on. Oh, only allows one. Sorry, I guess it was my first time setting this up. My bad. We're all learning. Sorry, my master's in social work. Thank you, Mary. You can't see what the last question is. You know, there might not be a last question. No, there's no last question. I just didn't know how to end that. You can choose whatever you want. It's empty. This is a really good learning and how to just be very extremely humble. I don't even know how to like make it go away. That's funny. Do folks need a few more minutes? Oh, well, I guess it tells us here 52% voted. We'll wait for an 85% response rate. In the meantime, feel free to tell us other things that come to mind. Anna, your entire being brings me so much joy. Oh, look at this is so cool. Everybody, our entire team has like learned how to use platforms, I think like literally overnight. Spotlighting Ignite women on social media. Ignite. Love it, love it, love it. And then if folks actually have other ideas of other platforms, we're super interested to learn about that. How many people are on TikTok? What do you watch on TikTok? Oh, a lot of people are on TikTok. I really might need to get on TikTok. You can't get off. Oh, I love that. Dance videos. TikTok. I might just need to get on it. All right. 15 more of you, friends. Makeup videos. Yeah, I was thinking about sharing my face routine. Let's see how many of my followers actually do watch me on on a lot like 280 of you watched me make chicken curry on Saturday, so that was hilarious. Or Sunday, I don't know what day it is. Okay, couple more minutes for our friends to keep filling out this lovely survey. This is really, really fun. Oh, FYI, I think Tiara's on, but so, okay, so you saw how there's no light, right? I got this lamp. I don't know why it turned other colors. Oh God, I don't know how to do that. Oh Jesus. Now it's green. Oh joy. Okay. I'll turn it off. But this lamp, you have one of those. It's so good. So I literally just got it today, but like it's making me glow. Oh, look. Kirsten's ready to get somebody to take over our TikTok account. Get a young person. Mary, aren't you a young person? No. Oh, that's funny. Oh, this is so fun. I could do this all day. Oh, that's funny. Lisette is young. I think Lisette's still in high school. Michelle, someone's nominating you. It's a Gen Z thing. Oh, Vienna, this is so funny. I'm young, but that's a bad idea. I don't know age range in TikTok. Esmeralda's being extremely inclusive. This is fun. This is like just a very fast text message situation. But I don't know how to put the filter on your face on Instagram. I really need to learn how to do that. Tiara said that that's something that you can do, but I don't know. I know. Maybe with my new little light situation here, I can figure that out. Okay, some people are really stumped in our survey because we're stuck. Oh, I love that, Brianna. That's awesome. Are high school students allowed to be on TikTok? Hmm. There's no age requirement. Oh, they're just on it. It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to move on because I could literally just read and respond to these all day long. So they're the ones who use it. Oh, well, maybe that's the demographic we want to be. Okay. Here we go. 7-year-olds are on TikTok. I think Amy's son was telling me about that. Okay. He's 7. All right. I'm going to talk about our survey results here. So there is a good portion of us that want to do, it's kind of a mixed bag in terms of this webinar versus Zoom. So what I'm learning is a Zoom, you can see everybody. So that's going to be really good. So we're going to try out a couple of those next week. And this webinar, like Click Meeting, obviously you just get to hear my voice and see my face, which is not so fun, but it might have to be some of the ways that we engage some of our speakers. So that we'll reserve those for there. And then I'm assuming more of you would probably have chosen social media if there was more than one option. Okay. What do you need most from your Ignite fam in the next 2 weeks? And it sounds like community building. So we will get something set up for us early next week on that. I think our next week is how to actually shift to doing things remotely. And I think it's via webinar too, but we can set up a community building session early next week as well. And then professional career development. For folks that chose that, can you tell me more about what you're thinking? Are you thinking resume or like, for example, our board chair? I hope if she's on right now, sorry, Katie. But like our board chair is the CEO of Koya Leadership Partners, which is like the largest search firm. And so like, would it be like talking through somebody who's helping you navigate the new work environment or just actually like how to find a job? Ooh, lots of typing. I'm going to see many, many responses in a second. Both. Yeah. What's the best for building up my resume? Okay. Great. I will get you that soon. And then, so I know folks put training and advocacy as kind of a lower end piece. Are you thinking that political passions into a career? A lot of folks have talked about how to. Okay, cool. We could totally do that. Thank you, Jillian. For training and advocacy, are people thinking that that's something they don't necessarily want or need in the next 2 weeks, but would be something they would want more of in April and May? Okay, cool. that helps us because there's a ton of brainstorm content. So this helps us just kind of categorize how our different pieces are. And someone just said it's kind of hard to do advocacy. We've never done digital advocacy before. Oh, I just touched my hair again. Sorry. So neurotic. Clean my hands. Stop touching. Okay. But we're going to try the digital advocacy, and Jocelyn and I will know a lot after March 30th. But it is good feedback because a lot of capitals are closed or have very limited staff. So it's something to totally think about. And then the meeting and talking with elected leaders, that will be something, probably won't, it's not going to happen next week. I'll tell you that. But we'll definitely have on the docket fairly soon. And I think, Jocelyn, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we are going to have an elected on the Ignite the Capital for California. Can you specify what digital advocacy entails? Okay, so here's what we're thinking, Carol. We are thinking we picked X amount of bills in California. And what we're going to do is not on this one, but on the other platform, we would all get on and talk about the bill. The person in the office that created the bill would talk a little bit about why she actually did it. And then we would then start to train you on what the call script is, and then call you, and then you would start to call the different legislators to start to work on that. Oh, perfect. Jocelyn, can you catch what Mary just said for SB 563? And then Kirsten just linked this, our digital advocacy toolkit, and it's a lot of phone calls and text messaging. I think many of you probably got the email, the call to action email. I think it was sent out yesterday, but all of our different states had itemized different bills. And so, for example, in X state, if you're living in X state, there was an ability to text somebody, which actually converts into an email, so they actually get it. Or you could call, and then so that you can either tell them why you support the bill or why you don't support the bill. Thank you. I can't keep track of all of the bills, but Jocelyn does a very good job of that. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving on. Okay, so good segue, legislative advocacy. So this one was the participate in virtual advocacy versus writing letters of support. So we're going to give you all both options. And then I think the first one for virtual advocacy is the one that we have for Ignite the Capital in California. And then Kirsten linked in here the ones that you all can choose for whatever state that you are currently a part of currently. And then the next topic or the next choice of question was around civic engagement. And so GOTV for states with primaries. I know a lot of states it either went through with their election this week or some have been pushed back. And instead of doing presidential preference primaries, they're just going to do a major primary. So probably not in the next 2 weeks, but we are definitely thinking about how to go about that as we get closer to some of those other primary dates. And then I love this idea of pen pals. So we could do a couple of things around that. So that's awesome. Thank you for that feedback. And then the census, like I said, we are offering on April 1st, given that it's Census Day. And then the Virtual College Council, we actually have a couple ideas around this. So many of our fellows are on right now, and so some of them might co-host some virtual college councils together. So for example, Anna and Rai and Jillian would have a Florida, Minnesota, and Boston College Council, and they would have maybe a 2-hour session that enables them to put out content to all 3 parts of the country. But then they would have a breakout room where Jillian could just meet with her Miami people, Anna could just have her Boston Boston people and do some city-specific stuff. And then we would, like all college councils, bring in an elected official, whether it's a local one to one of their cities or a national one. And then they would, do their closing part that they normally do at the college council. And so that's our first idea. Our other idea is then like Mary could just do North Carolina and just have a college council just for her young women. And shorter. So those are kind of some of the other ideas that we're thinking about there. It sounds like many of you do want to participate in them. And so March is not generally a college council month for us, as you know, because you are all either going to be on spring break or going to start. So those will start to pop up in April. Okay. And then virtual college chapter meetings. This was really just kind of an idea to keep our college chapters, give them platforms to be able to continue to host their college chapter meetings. And so that's really it. And so they would pick either content that we're either supporting them with within the virtual college council or via any of the content that is offered in the curriculum already. But we are going to offer up some training to all of our college chapter leaders in the coming weeks to just help you set up what these college chapter meetings could look like and maintain engagement specifically on your college campus as we all continue to navigate this brand new world, which I think was a question earlier. It's too far back. There's too many comments for me to go that far back, but it is there. And then the training ideas, this all looks really, really great. And thank you for all of this feedback. We'll start to map these out and get some more feedback on Instagram to see what other folks are thinking. And then obviously everyone still wants to talk and meet with candidates. And then thank you so much for the feedback on the time, because we, all of us, there's 4 different time zones. And so it's really, really hard to always find some really good time for us to be able to connect. So this is super helpful. So thank you so much. I'm going to end the voting. I stopped sharing results. Let's see what that, I don't know what else I'm doing. Okay. I'm going to go back to the slide deck. Let's see if I can figure out how to do that. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't lose it. Okay, so thank you so much for all this feedback. It's super, super, super helpful. Kira, that is a good question. What if your state doesn't have a chapter? If your state doesn't have a chapter, you're going to get to see all of these different options, and they're going to be pretty specific. So I don't think I can't show you my lovely calendar because it's on the other screen and I frankly don't know how to move it forward. But we could, we have a lot of events that are going to come up online. So stay connected with us and keep coming to as many of these as possible. And we will help you. But you should also, if you haven't already, download our college toolkit. One of my lovely team members will help get that to you in the chat box so that you can start getting your college chapter started, and we can actually help you do that. Perfect. St. Louis. Okay, so that was that. Okay, I went through the thing. Okay, so last but not least, your political fam is here for you. And so we have a couple minutes left in our time together. How else can we support you? What else could we do as we continue to navigate this new world era for ourselves? And if anybody has just general questions too, I'm happy to try to answer them. Thank you, Kirsten. And while you load that up, the next forum that I'm going to put up for us is we have... right now, we are currently looking for fellows all across the country. And I'd love for you all to be able to nominate someone, if not apply yourselves. And so I am going nominate a fellow. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Oh, there she is. Okay, great. So this is a nomination form for the fellowship, but also thank you, Kirsten, for linking the particular web page for that. We're currently looking for fellows all across the country, and so that's a nomination form if you have somebody in your community that you'd like to nominate. I'm going to need a new neck pillow. Okay. Any other thoughts, folks? I know that we don't all get to see each other. This was thrillingly fun for me. This is a lot of interaction for me. I have Cheryl over there. I don't know if you've all seen the tweet that, if you have a work from home partner now, that you should find another coworker named Cheryl. Samia, can I get some information about what a fellow is? Well, we have lots of fellows actually on this webinar right now, and our fellows director. So you could definitely click on that link that Kirsten just put in, and then you can also reach out to anybody on our website. And we have the webinar for the fellowship next week, and that is going to be on the 24th, which I believe is Wednesday. Tuesday. So you can definitely join. As a member of a chapter whose colleges has switched to complete remote learning, what's the best way to hold meetings? Should we try and have context? So we're going to put out some guidelines for that, but I basically came up with we've been researching a ton of that right now. So this click meeting format we're on right now is really good for getting surveys and information sharing, and if you're comfortable with just chat boxing. But the two areas that I really recommend if you want to have college chapter meetings, and we'll start to actually do this next week in our community building, is Zoom and Google Hangout, which now you can record both. But it's the best way for you to be able to see people's faces and have some really great interaction that way. So as you keep planning and as we keep helping with recommendations, I really strongly advise you to take a look at those. Folks that have EDU emails can actually get Zoom for free right now, which we have a .org email, so we can't. But that's another opportunity for folks to have. And then we'll take just a couple more questions or thoughts, and we'll log off in a couple minutes. I don't think it's for pro. I think it's just for basic. Oh, Tara, how'd you put the hand thing? That's cool. I don't know. Oh, and then I have a really fun quote to close with that I have on my desk. Ooh, that's a really close version of my nose and my chin. Okay. Any other thoughts, ladies, this afternoon and evening? Oh, you just got a new iPad. Oh. I'm really thinking about buying a new computer too. Okay. Well, everybody, humans all around the country, we are here for you. We want to support you through this process. We'll be sharing all of the different events that are coming up. Next week, we have the Fellowship 411 on Tuesday. We have how to work remotely and study remotely on Wednesday. And then the following week, we have our first digital advocacy for the state of California. And so it sounds like a lot of folks want some more community building too. So I will get some of that time allocated next week for us to be able to hop on, and you can see all of our faces in chat. But before we close out, I am going to share one of the quotes that I have right in front of my face all the time. It says, "What you do today can improve all of your tomorrows." And so this has a tremendous amount of sentiment, obviously, for all of us that are practicing social distancing, but also truly with all of the pieces that we are putting into place as we continue to get through the next day. And there are going to be some very, very bright tomorrows for all of us. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon or evening. Have a good, restful weekend, and we will see you online next week. Thank you. Bye, everybody. I'll see your faces next week. Take care. Wash your hands. I don't want to turn the chat off because it's too much fun reading everything. Sanitizers are critical. Everything is critical. Yes, drink your water. I have mine. Here it is with lemon. Lauren, I could literally do this all day. I should just have a camera in front of my face all the time. Okay. Yes, be extra nice to your grocery worker. I thanked my garbage man this morning when I was going on my morning walk. That was very sweet. I almost wanted to cry. It was so special. I don't want to close it because there's still. Do you think we could discuss next time on pandemics, maybe how to prevent being sick and how government officials could do more? We can certainly add that to our very long. We can talk about that in some of our open community building pieces. The other idea for anyone else that's still on, the other idea that I had about that was talking to some of my contacts at the CDC and really kind of thinking about how entities like work together and understanding how to create response to all of this. So that might be another really good topic too. Oh, I have also been like not listening to everything on the news today, so I did not hear that yet, Delasia. But whew. Okay, no one's typing anymore, so I think it's time. It's safe to close it out. Thank you again so much. We will see you all online soon. Take care.